It's time for Remodel Revolution. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years' experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome to another episode of Remodel Revolution. We're coming to you from deep in the state of Texas, deep in the heart of the state of Texas. Today's show is going to be really fantastic. I have some guests that I've been trying to get on for quite some time. I've had to chase this redheaded lady around for quite a while. We're going to have Carol Longacre with Service Roundtable, and of course my co-host, Mr. Steve Lawton with Total Air and Heat. Hello, Mr. Lawton. How are you?
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah,
I'm good. How about you?
Happy Hump Day, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's my favorite time of the week because I'm supposed to, in theory, depending on how busy I am, I'm 2 days away from fishing. But
that's a great way of thinking. We're in the good fishing season coming up.
We're also going to have a special guest today, Keith Brown from Bravis Home Automation, and we're going to talk LEDs. We're going to have Keith on in just a couple of seconds, but first, I want to do our special remodeler's tip brought to us by Total Air and Heat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And today's remodeler's tip is thinking about a remodel this summer. Well, you might be too late. Get on your contractor's schedule now. If you're just now thinking about a remodel for the summer, you might be in for a big surprise because unless you've got your plans done and people on schedule, we are getting super busy. Look at this chart. This chart that we've got up right now shows about a 2 to 3% increase in activity that they're projecting. Now, that doesn't sound like a big number, but here's the big number. 7.5 million people in North Texas. That's the big number. Now take 2 to 3% of that, extrapolate that. And I know 2 to 3% of all those people aren't going to do a remodel, but it's just increasing. The volume's increasing. The availability of materials is still, sort
tight.
of hard. It's tight.
And people are tight too. I mean, as far as the labor to do the jobs.
Our labor. So if you're thinking about doing a remodel, you really need to get on the stick. The North Texas region's population right now tops 7.5 million. Now, I'm old enough to remember when you could actually drive down a road in North Texas and in Dallas, and you could go the posted speed. It was pretty fun back then. Remember those old days?
The good old days.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. 150,000 people plus per year are moving into North Texas. They're projecting that by 2029, we're going to have an additional 1 million people.
I believe it.
So that is really, really amazing. We are now only behind New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, which are all losing residents. And
they're all moving here.
Yeah, guess where they're going, or coming, I should say. So there's a lot of competition for the trades, particularly those of high quality and experience. Labor and material costs are rising. And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe we're busy as contractors, go to Home Depot and get you a cup of coffee about 7 o'clock in the morning if you can find a parking spot, because all of the contractors are filling the parking lot. It's pretty amazing.
Picking up their supplies.
Yeah, exactly. So make your plans now for the summer, but plan on starting closer to the fall. And if you're trying to finish something by summer, good luck. I wish you well. I hope it works out for you. So your business, now you're, of course, air conditioning. So are your phones ringing? Because you have like a certain time of year that all of a sudden your phones just start ringing off the hook for service.
Yeah, so, we're talking to people about how we're ready and they need to let us tune up their air conditioners to be ready for summer. And what happens is we try to do that in March, in April, but Dallas or North Texas weather is very unpredictable. We're in the 40s and 50s today, but 2 days ago we were 80 degrees. So what happens in the spring is sometime in April, people are going to turn on their air conditioners. They haven't ran them since last fall, and all of a sudden it doesn't work. And so, yeah, we get slammed, Alex, typically sometime that first part of April, and by late April going into May, we're full blast. We'll be weeks out on getting tune-ups done.
Well, when you hear thunder in the evening and the squirrels are chasing each other around the yard, you know the season is changing, and that's the only way you know it's changing around here, because it changes day to day. So let's go to Keith Brown at Bravas Home Automation. Keith's on the screen with us. Hey, buddy.
Hey, how are you doing, Alex?
We're doing fantastic. I'm so glad to get you on today. Now, tell us why you're stuck at home. You couldn't come in the studio.
I tore a muscle in my calf.
Oh, okay. So, and why? And how did you do that? A little soccer. Yeah, doing things you shouldn't be doing at your advanced age.
Yeah, I'm learning slowly.
Keith is an expert in lighting, and I asked Keith to come on because I had an interesting thing happen about a week ago when I had a client. I still have the client. We painted cabinets in their house, and and everything's white. Everything in the house is white. Excuse me. And we looked at it and we thought, wow, they used the wrong color paint. What happened? And so we go out and we take some of the paint and we do a little test spot on the cabinet, and we had the right paint, but it looked the wrong color. And we realized when we looked up that it's all LED lighting, but the lighting actually was changing the color of the paint. And I thought, I need to talk to somebody about that because I don't sobby. So, Keith, let's talk about how we judge what lighting to use in a house.
Yeah, when we were purchasing incandescent lights, it was real easy. They all are the same color. What most people are looking for now is the color of light they're buying. So that's the color temperature they see, that 2700 or 5000 number they see on the box, which sometimes they'll call soft white or daylight. That has nothing to do with brightness. It's just the color of light that it's putting out. So that soft white or lower numbers, 2700 Kelvin, means it's going to be warmer. It's going to look more like a candle versus higher numbers, which are going to look more blue. So just kind of finding that look that works for you and your space is really what you're looking for.
Is there sort of a formula on how a certain Kelvin will affect a certain color? In other words, I understand that amber is going to make white look not white.
Sure.
Are people able to, because this huge variation in lighting in kelvins, plus you have all these, different light. I mean, different colors, actual colors.
Yeah. So that Kelvin is going to tell you the color. If you were to say, look at a paint outdoors in the middle of the day at noontime, it would look the same under a 6500 Kelvin light, but no one would really enjoy that type of light in their home. There are a lot of reasons for that, including health reasons, but for most people, traditional homes where they really like that dim, warm glow from an incandescent light are going to want 2700 to 3000 Kelvin. In more modern homes, or sometimes in your kitchen and workspaces, you might want something closer to 4000. But I would say for the most part, people aren't going to want to go above that, except in things like offices where they typically have that 6500 Kelvin light, because it looks like daylight and it helps keep us awake and alert.
So we used to put in, I'm young enough to remember when we used to get the big deal back in the 80s was to get we called it a daylight color fluorescent light bulb. And that's what we were using. We were all very proud of it, except it made everything in the room look dead. But if you liked dead and death, then they were fine.
Which most of our buyers right now are not looking for.
No, they're not looking for that. So does, LEDs went from just sort of a on and off type light to a dimmable. There was a process of time that it took for them to get to where we could have dimmable lights. But do you still have to search out that dimmable LED? Because I think that probably helps with the color a little bit.
Yeah, you do have to search out dimmable LEDs. It'll say on the box whether or not it's dimmable. It won't tell you what dimmers it works with. But if you typically call the manufacturer, the biggest ones are Lutron and Leviton. If you contact the manufacturer, go on their website, it will typically tell you if the bulb that you're looking at will be dimmable with their dimmers.
Well, I can tell you that from experience, and most contractors have had it, that if you put a non-dimmable bulb and the wrong dimmer together, funny things happen.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of dimmable bulbs that claim they're dimmable, you'll have the exact same experience, especially if you put just one bulb on a dimmer, it'll flicker on and off. It'll never shut off.
Well, it kind of
that's
took me
actually
back
why
to
we
my
became experts in
disco
LED.
days. It's a disco-y thing for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was
Again,
cool
not
then.
something all of our clients are looking for.
No. I never can convince them that they're wrong and I'm right when that happens, as much as I try.
Most people don't know what kind of dimmer they have on the wall, and going from incandescent bulbs, the old style bulbs, to a dimmable LED bulb isn't just a matter of switching out the bulbs. You've got to make sure that that dimmer itself is rated for the bulb that you're putting in. And where the problem starts is that many of the older dimmers that work with incandescent cannot handle dimming these newer LED lights. And also grounding of the light switch itself. If you look at the newer dimmers, there's a place to put your neutral, of course your hot, but they're looking for an actual ground wire to be able to hook up to be able to move the electricity from the bulb to the neutral.
And in an older home, we've had a problem with that. We've had to
Yeah,
actually
'cause
go
they
in and add a wire.
Yes.
I didn't understand it. I was just told what to do, but of course I have the job of relaying that to the homeowner. We have to add another wire. That's never pleasant.
Nope.
But so when you're converting from an incandescent in an older home in a remodel to the new LED system, Keith, what's your advice? Where should you start so you know you're successful?
Yeah, you're definitely right about older wiring not always working. A lot of times we're seeing lights wired or switches wired with no neutrals. So you'll have to make sure you can find a non-neutral dimmer that works. But the best advice is buy good quality bulbs. Companies like Cree, Philips tend to release better bulbs. But don't believe that you're going to be able to dim it unless you're also replacing the dimmers. So I would have an electrician look at the wiring, know what you have, and then give you advice on what to replace the dimmers with.
Yes.
Once you choose the dimmers, find a bulb that's compatible.
Definitely make sure you have an electrician that understands what they're doing, because there's still a big learning curve on all of these new electronics and digital electronics that we're using.
You're right, especially when it comes to dimming. If it's just switching LED bulbs, you're going to be successful. If you're trying to dim them, which honestly, that's one of the best things you can do for your home, is having dimmable light, especially now with technologies like warm dim lighting, where the light will get warmer as it dims, as opposed to just getting grayer. That's something that can make a home feel more like a home.
Mm-hmm. Well, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One other thing to keep in mind is a lot of these dimmers now are also available to be connected, where they connect to the Wi-Fi in your house and you have control over any light fixture in your house that is connected via a dimmer.
Sort of a lighting control system.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to ask Keith to come back, and we're going to do a lighting control interview with him and get his advice on that the next time I have him on. I already have that in my notes, because that's how far in advance I plan. Keith, hey, we really appreciate you coming on with us this morning. Thank you so much. I hope you heal up quickly. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much.
I appreciate the time. Have a great day.
You bet. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have our pros corner, and we're going to have my friend Carol Longacre with Service Roundtable. Look at that screen. Look at that beautiful redheaded woman. Okay, we'll be right back. The hardest working and arguably most important system in our homes is our air conditioning and heating system. It heats the air, it cools the air, and it filters the air. That's why it's so critical to have it checked and maintained by the very best professionals available. It's time to contact Total Air and Heat at totalair.com. Get that system pruned and tuned. If you want to have the very best experience, you've got to hire the very best company. Total Air's employees are honest, well-trained, and thoroughly background checked. I never have to worry about sending their technicians out to my clients' homes. Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Total Air and Heat has been a fixture in North Dallas for over 60 years. Total Air is a proud dealer of the Trane air conditioning systems, and you know how hard it is to stop a train, so give them a call at 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020, or contact them at totalair.com today. You know, we do a lot of shows. I do a lot of shows on women in construction, and one of the first women I actually knew in construction is sitting next to me, Carol Longacre. We've been friends for many, many years. Carol and her husband own a very successful construction company and have for many years. And Carol was also one of the first women presidents of the local Builders Association, Dallas Builders Association, and that's a tough job. That in and of itself is a real beating. If you're male or female, it doesn't matter. And so I'm so proud to introduce you to my good friend Carol Longacre with Service Roundtable. Hi.
Hi. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So glad you're here because you travel everywhere. You're never home anymore.
I do get to travel a lot. It's quite a fun job.
Your husband and I have been having a lot of fun. Glad to see you're back, though, because I needed a break.
I think my husband has a lot of fun when I travel.
Carol is the marketing, she's the vertical marketing manager for Service Roundtable, and I had to look up vertical marketing manager to understand what it means. It means you just talk to certain people. And so she's focused on a certain aspect of the company, which is the remodeling portion of Service Roundtable. So first of all, let's talk about what Service Roundtable is.
Okay. Service Roundtable is a alliance of contractors, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and we just added remodeling, and we have a smart home. So the vertical that I get to create is the remodeling vertical, which is the world that I come from. So I'm super excited about it. It's a lot of, it was founded in 2002. We've been around a long time. We have great members. So I'm very excited.
And Steve's a member.
Yeah.
Steve's a member. And so we know that they want high quality. We know that.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
I've got you and Steve, two of my best friends in the world. I can't believe that. I had no idea, incidentally, until a few days ago that Steve was one of their original members. I think that's pretty amazing. So tell me and Carol, what is Service Roundtable to you and why you would join it?
Alex, for me, Service Roundtable is a way of going from good to great. Many people, chefs, remodelers, or even painters, electricians, air conditioning people, all start out in their trades typically in the field. And then at some point in time, they feel like they can make the transition to opening their own company. The thing about it is you may know how to do whatever that work is, but it doesn't make you a business person. So Service Roundtable gives me the ability to tap into the knowledge base of many hundreds and hundreds of contractors in all fields, plumbing, electrical, and air conditioning in particular, and bounce ideas off them. And then Service Roundtable provides me as a member all kinds of training for my people and myself. a lot of us have never done a budget before or tried to
You're
job
supposed
cost.
to do a budget?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
you know?
man,
Once every 5 years,
I
that's
think,
all.
Carol, I think I need to join. I think I need to
it might
join
be
Service Roundtable. Maybe I can learn a few things.
What's your overhead? How much does it cost to turn on the
Are you gonna
lights?
say what's
Don't
overhead?
talk about my head again. Okay, so Carol, what are some of the things that you would help a remodeling contractor with? One of your members.
We have different levels. So we have 4,400 members. So we've been around a long time. We have a graphics team that helps with business cards, street signs, track wraps. We have a marketing team that helps with different types of marketing. We have downloads. So our download center, you can download HR forms, you can download templates for your social media, Facebook, those kind of things. It's so big. We have our own shows. We have a show in the spring for our members only, and we have a show
Like a trade show.
trade show. We have a trade show in the fall. It's the largest trade show for HVAC, electrical, and plumbing contractors. And since we just added remodeling, we obviously will be adding some of that to our trade show, education, vendors, trade partners, that kind of thing.
So I'll tell you, because having, and Steve as well, and probably Carol as well, I started my business about 40 years ago, believe it or not, and I didn't know a darn thing about business. I knew nothing. And just like Steve has said, and I've said before, most people start their businesses from passion. You, one way or another, maybe circumstances, maybe a recession in the case of a lot of people these days, you kind of get maybe sent out on your own. Maybe the company you're working for went out of business or laid people off, and you said, okay, I've had enough of that. I'm just going to work for myself, and the heck with it. And that's how a lot of us actually go into business. But you have to have a passion. But passion's only going to take you so far. At the end of the day, I believe that passion carries you through the rough spots. But to begin your business, there's all of these learning curves that you're constantly coming up against. Like Carol says, so Service Roundtable offers you kind of a step up on everything. It's sort of like, I didn't know anything about what I should put on a business card, or what of course, now the whole new deal is social media.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. That's huge.
What Service Roundtable meant to me, and the reason I even, so excited to work here. I ran a business with my husband since I was 22 years old. So I didn't have the craft, but I married a craftsman.
You've only been in business 10 years.
Only 10 years. So I jumped in with both feet. I joined the trade association. I joined the Dallas Builder Association. I started taking all the education I could take. And so I joined all these different things and tried to bring that experience to my office, into my business. Mm-hmm. And so when I met Matt Michelle and Service Roundtable and found out what they do for service contractors, I was all in. I mean, this is everything I've been doing. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the Kool-Aid I've been trying to stir. And now I have the backing of a really amazing company to help me build for and give back to the remodeling industry, which everyone knows I clearly love, because here I still sit.
Yeah, right.
What was it, 10 years later?
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
30 years later?
Well, the thing about being a small business owner, regardless of the business, like Steve's saying, whether you're a painter or a chef or whatever the heck you do, you are bombarded with all of these different options and trying to figure out how to take all the little pieces and put them together.
It's really hard, Alex.
Yeah, it's a constant thing.
Yeah. And the awesome thing about Service Roundtable for me is, instead of making me work harder, I work smarter. We use the Service Roundtable's employee handbook in our company, and we're big enough that you gotta have an employee handbook with all the different things that your company does and allows and what they don't allow.
Yeah.
It just helps you.
Which the don't do section is probably bigger than the do section.
Yeah, and then from a safety perspective, there's just so many elements to running a business, and it makes no sense to go out there and blaze that trail on your own, when for nominal cost you can get that stuff and download it and customize it to your company, and you're ready to go.
So Carol, you've really kind of a boundary breaker in a lot of ways as a female in this business, because and I've done several shows recently with women in construction and various aspects of it, and you've learned a lot. And let's go back to being the president of a builders association. What were you thinking?
You forgot at the end of a recession. You forgot being a female president remodeler at the end of a recession.
Have you
That was
lost
a big
your
education.
mind?
I was like, I should get a PhD after that or something. You know what, though? I did learn a lot, and I've met a lot of amazing people, and I have a lot of amazing contacts. I wouldn't redo any of that, the opportunities that have been given to me. I've also been given some really great leadership positions at the Texas Association of Builders, as well as the National Association of Home Builders. So I have friends and colleagues and people I've learned so much from all over the country and all over the industry. Like I said, I love this industry, and I'm so excited that I get to do. And I know it sounds like but it is me. And anyone knows me, I posted recently my DISC profile on my Facebook, and so what I say, who I am is who you get. So you got to know that I really, really do love this job and this opportunity to build and give back and educate remodelers. I spent the last week working on job descriptions, and you don't realize how important job descriptions are to you because, you're the boss, right? I'm the boss. You do what I tell you to do. But I had a really long conversation with our education director, and he's like, no, Carol, it doesn't work that way. Like you're breaking some laws if you do it that way. And so I get to do that work and provide you that information, and you get to do what you do best and build and remodel and make things beautiful.
So, as a female coming into the construction industry, and I know you had your husband there, and he's like 10 feet tall.
He is.
He's big as a big old. He's not big like me. He's just a big old dude. He's like 10 feet tall, and he's like a big old bear. Nobody messes with Carol. I mean, even if you get past the red hair part, because you never mess with a redheaded woman, you don't mess with Carol's husband. He's big. So anyway,
And have you met my son?
oh yeah, he's bigger. He's bigger than both.
Yep.
Okay, and so anyway. With all that, take all that in. Tell us a couple of experiences or one experience that stands out to you as being a woman in the remodeling industry. What did you?
Oh, you didn't even let me practice that one, did you?
No, I didn't. I want it fresh, baby. So you were when we met, and I think I was the president of the remodelers division or something. I think
Council.
that's probably when we met.
Probably.
Those were some fun days.
They were.
Anyway, and what did you do when you were working for the construction company? What was your position?
So I started like most wives. I don't want to take that away, but I was a part-time bookkeeper. I was the QuickBooks wife. I introduced QuickBooks to
You can talk to my wife
to
anytime.
Longacre
Yeah.
Construction. I worked part-time at American Airlines and part-time as a bookkeeper, and then
Were you a pilot, flight attendant?
I actually started in reservations, consumer relations, and had a very short stint as a flight attendant. That didn't work out so well for my home life.
Yeah, but I bet it was fun.
It was fun. But I started as the part-time doing that. And as I saw needs for the company, I took them on and tried to grow. And I'm 100% at everything. So I wanted to make sure that we were doing the right thing. I got us incorporated as a incorporate,
So
as a
you
corporation.
were like my wife, a lot of women, and this is one of the things that I've talked about often for the last few years about women in construction, is women don't always have the front page role. They don't have the face on the sign role. They have the really important part.
The brains.
The brains, because most guys they don't think strategically like women. I mean, it's like, how can I build that wall faster? That's cool. That's necessary. But the strategic part is what you're doing behind the scenes, and that is what ties things like Service Roundtable into owning a business. That's kind of how Service Roundtable kind of fills that gap for a lot of small businesses.
Absolutely.
Because it
so now I get
provides-
to do that
yeah.
strategic planning and the stuff that businesses need, and I get to share it with everyone. So you're right. It's also a battle for women in the industry because I was the one that wanted to be involved. I wanted to be the one involved in the trade associations and the community and, all the things that needed to be. So there is a little, and I might get in a little trouble for saying this, but I'm going to be truthful, a little struggle, because, it's Dan's business. Like Dan's the craftsman. He's Longacre Construction.
Right.
But I was the one doing all the front facing stuff because that's what I enjoy doing. So for spouses out there, and that's something else I bring to the table, I know that battle. I did it for 25 years. What the wife's job or role is, what the husband's wife or role is it his business, is it your business? Are you co-owners? Creating a org chart. That's an ego thing right there. Like who's at the top of the org chart, So it is.
Or who wants to not be at the top
Yeah.
of the org?
But you're right. So
So let
Service
me ask
Nation
you-
or Roundtable gets to bring that and deliver it to our members.
So every time there's a problem with someone, and they call you, do you say, that's Dan, call Dan? Like my wife's like, call Alex.
Is it if
I
it's a
don't-
construction
you've
problem?
You've got the wrong department, buddy. You called the wrong number. Call him. Yeah, I know that battle.
No, when the IRS knocks, I'm pretty much taking care of
Service
that.
Roundtable could be kind of considered a marriage counselor in business, small business.
Yeah, in
little
the grand
marriage
scheme
count.
of things, it helps each of us have a way of growing a business. Most companies hit what we call walls. So you start off with $0 in revenue, and your goal the first year might be to do 100,000 in revenue, and then next year 150. Well, you're going to hit walls, and those walls typically involve adding extra layers of overhead. You have to have that back office support. And so Service Roundtable gives you a lot of ways to do that. They even have, depending on the level you join, you can get on an advisory board where they have weekly calls, and you can talk about how you're doing and what challenges you're facing. And these other owners of businesses just like you will say, well, here's what I did in that scenario. There's not a way to put a value on that type of stuff, Alex.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we come back more with Carol Longacre and Steve Lawton on Remodel Revolution. Question of do I call or don't I call the foundation repair company? Well, what if I tell you that I know a foundation repair company that will tell you if you don't need foundation repair? That's right. Hargrave & Hargrave Foundation Repair has been in business for over 50 years, and they know the difference. One of the last family-owned foundation repair businesses in North Texas. Not only are they honest, they know what causes your foundation to move, and they know how to fix it. Don't be duped by fly-by-night foundation companies that provide shortcuts and messy fixes. Call Hargrave & Hargrave Foundation Repair at 972-442-3415. At the first sign of trouble, Hargrave uses the Chance helical pier system exclusively because it's the highest quality, most reliable helical pier money can buy. 972-442-3415 or contact them at hargravefoundation.com. We're here today with Steve Lawton and Carol Longacre, my very good friends for many years. And we're all in construction. We kind of have all owned our businesses, so we understand what it takes to start it, what it takes to run it. There's losses, there's headaches, there's wonderfulness, and it's just this big old mixed bag. Well, Carol went to work for a company called Service Roundtable. And I got really interested when I was talking to her about it. I looked them up, and I saw the benefits that they give their members and what they offer their members as small business owners. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, I feel like, and I know you agree with this, that a smart business owner is much, much more beneficial to a client. So, I mean, you can get a cheap bid from somebody that doesn't know what the heck they're doing, and you can chase them all over town trying to get the job finished. Or you can hire somebody that knows what they're doing. You may pay a little more, but you're going to get a whole lot more at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I was there a question?
That's a question.
I agree. I agree that you need a educated contractor. I think we just got it. I think what I remember when I joined the 20 Club, when we joined the 20 Club a long, long time ago, one of the contractors in there said, you owe it to yourself to make a profit. You owe it to your customers to make a profit. You owe it to your employees to make a profit. You owe it to, because you know what? Those people are going to rely on you to come back and do the job again. And if you're not making a profit, you're not going to be there for
Well,
them.
and I will tell you this, when I'm interviewing a homeowner, now I just so all of you potential homeowners that are interviewing people to doing projects for you know this and understand this. An experienced contractor is interviewing you. You're not just interviewing them. And one of the things that I base my entire decision on whether I'm going to work for somebody is if you tell me you don't want me to make a profit, then I will tell you, I don't want to work for you. I don't mind you wanting to negotiate pricing and things like that. That's normal and rational and all that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the contractor and his people, everybody needs to make money. Everybody has to live. And you want a healthy business working for you.
You know, we bounce this off all the time with the internet now. People get on the internet and they say, well, I can buy that toilet at a big box store for $100, yet you're charging me $300. Why?
Yeah, right.
And the knowledge to put it in properly, I go pick it up for you. I bring it to your house. You don't have to do anything.
If it's cracked when I open the box and there's a big crack in it, guess who gets to take it back and replace it? Me.
Yeah.
If there's a big crack in it and you've bought it, guess what I'm going to do? Call me when the new one's here.
Also, the warranty. You're forgetting the warranty part. If you call me in 2 weeks because it doesn't work anymore,
Yeah.
if you bought it, I don't know that you bought it off the clearance rack and it didn't work
Right.
originally. But if I buy it, I know who my supplier is, and I know that it is a quality product. So that also makes a big difference.
It's
in the
it's
pricing.
service. You're paying for service, and I have people saying, well, I've got so and so do it for half the price. Well, ask them, do they have liability insurance?
Amen.
Do they know how to manage a project?
Are they using licensed subs?
Are they using licensed, insured subs? So the world has changed a lot. Since when I went in business, it was a lot, and it really kind of still is in Texas to a point. It was like the wild, wild west of business. All you had to do was shake hands, and you could do a big, expensive project, and they went fine, and you made money. Well, things have changed in the last 25, 30 years dramatically with liabilities that we all have, and people hold us responsible for that, as they should. But if you're going to hold people responsible for working on your house and the things that happen, then you have to be willing to pay them for that.
There's a risk with doing the work. There always is. And so it's only fair that you make a fair profit.
A fair profit, yeah.
But you deliver the best value for the customer. From my experience, when the value of what you bring to the table exceeds the price you're asking, everybody wins.
Yes, that's exactly right. So that's why I loved the concept of Service Roundtable. Now, I know that I came through, and I still do, and it seems like every day I'm trying to figure out a new nuance to being in business. Something,
Absolutely.
and so you develop your own contract. You have to do all your research on all of the things it takes to run your business, the insurance, how much should I pay a a superintendent? What's a good fair hourly wage to pay somebody by the hour? These are the things that most of us have to just struggle with every day as a business owner.
Absolutely.
But it seems like you've put a lot of that you're just kind of handing that to people. Well, it for your fee.
We have a lot of infrastructure.
We do have a lot of infrastructure and a lot of support and a lot of people too. The job descriptions is a prime example. Like I said, I was talking to our education director, and he explained to me, which I did not understand till yesterday. We had quite a a conversation about it. The job description is what people aspire to be, and that's what you pay them on. So an office manager is an office manager, and you're training them to go anywhere and be an office manager, and this is the range of price that someone should make. I think we as small business owners try to make that job description fit what we need, as opposed to us taking care of that person and making them an office man. Okay, this is your duties. This is how much the pay is. And now if you leave here, you can be an office manager anyway and know what the expectation is on that.
Well, that's very
salary.
interesting.
But having a roadmap to follow is vital, Alex. You hire a new employee as office manager. They come to work there and you say, okay, get busy. Or do you actually
Here's the sign in for QuickBooks, which they're not even
You
supposed
mean
to be
you're
doing.
supposed to do more than that?
Yeah. So you actually have a description of what their
I didn't
day-to-day
realize how cruel I was.
their day-to-day responsibilities, and where do you find this and where do you find that?
Where's the restroom? Where's
Yeah.
the break room?
You have to tell them
those
that.
things.
Wow, I just thought they follow. I have those little feet things on the floor. Just follow
The
them.
little footprints that
Yeah,
said.
yeah. The blue one is men. Follow the blue footprints and okay.
And the pink one for girls. Yeah. Girls love that.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming in today and spending the day with us.
Thanks for having me.
We
It's
were going to
super
do
fun.
it. We were going to do a tool segment, but I'm having too much fun with these guys talking about small business because I'm pretty obsessed with it. And of course, I own a couple of businesses, and this is one of them. You're watching it. And a construction business. And I've been in business about 40 years. And if you're thinking about doing a remodel, if you want to do a room addition, you want to do a whole house remodel, small, large, heck, if you even want to build a house, give me a call, 469-446-8508, or check me out, alexguthrie.net. That's our website. alex@alexguthrie.net is how you get in touch with me directly. You can go on to the look at our pretty little pictures and go on. We have a blog that I don't do much with, but you can read last year's post. And we've got a lot of history. We love our business. We love our clients. So give us a call if you're thinking about doing that. Next week, we are going to have a really interesting show. We're going to have William Cole. He is the owner of Texas Weather Tracker TV, who we are an affiliate with. They're actually running our show there on Sundays twice. Just in case you don't get enough the first time, you can watch it the second time, like I do, every Sunday, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. He's going to be on, and we're going to talk about he's going to give us tornado advice for the spring. We're coming up on that. And we're going to ask him a few really important questions, like, does it really rain cats and dogs? I don't know. I don't know the answer to these things. Maybe he does. He went to school for it. So anyway, that'll be next week's show. And I want to thank Steve Lawton, as always, my co-host, my friend, our sponsor. We really appreciate you so much. And Carol Longacre and Service Roundtable. And Carol, do people need to get in touch with you directly?
They can get in direct. My email is carol.longacre@serviceroundtable.com, or my cell is 214-395-1302. And leave a message, because I don't always answer unknown numbers. So please leave me a message if you call me on my cell phone.
I answer them just to mess with them. And so you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, House. Check out our podcast. Our podcast will be up here in a couple of days. I post it on Spreaker, but you can get us on any podcast site, including Pandora, iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, and several more that I can't remember them all. The podcast is really a lot of fun. You can watch this show on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Remodel Revolution Radio, although I think you can get it with Remodel Revolution. And so until next week, this is Alex Guthrie. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, On Air Media, for doing such a great job for us today. We'll see you next week.
The views and opinions of this program are for educational and entertainment purposes only and are not intended to replace the recommendations of a hired professional. You can catch Remodel Revolution anytime. Follow the show on the website, remodelrevolutionradio.com, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, using the handle @Remodel Revolution Radio. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn, and watch the show anytime on YouTube.